and welcome to our first class on cyber security, something that we really need to take a strong look at. My name is Brenda Bryant. I am an instructor here at UNR Extension, and our guest speaker is an expert in the cybersecurity world and in our world too. And his name is Mac Jackson Jr. So, Mac, this one's on you.
Hello, Brenda. How are you?
I'm great.
Great. Thank you. Thank you, and welcome. I appreciate the opportunity to talk to you and R regarding cybersecurity and prevention. And I have a few slides here. Before I get started, I'd like to do a little introduction of myself. My name is Mac Jackson Jr. I'm a cybersecurity consultant and expert from the company called Vanderson Cyber Group. I'm a professor at DeVry University part-time remotely, as well as a instructor at Texas A&M, their extension program. We work with FEMA and Homeland Security. I host a television show called Cybersecurity Awareness TV, and I have a local business here in Las Vegas, Nevada, as a cybersecurity consultant, helping small businesses, governmental municipalities, as well as parents and individuals protect themselves from cyber threats. And of course, I'm a Las Vegas native, born and raised here in Las Vegas. All right, so my company, Vanderson Cyber Group, we are also a reseller of KnowBe4 software, and that's a training software to help individuals within the workplace understand cyber threats and give them provide testing for organizations and their employees. So we're here to learn today about cybersecurity and what is it? Well, cybersecurity to I'll give you a very simple term what it is, Brenda, at first, right? Cybersecurity is basically securing your data and your information from scammers and hackers, being able to lock it down and giving you preventative policies and strategies where you can protect your data from these types of cyber threats. So, in my introduction, what we'll talk about the three concerns of businesses when it comes to cyber and cybersecurity. And that's basically financial losses. Companies run into financial losses because of malware, ransomware attacks on their systems. And that's one of the key unique things that they're concerned with. Second would be the loss of business reputation. Customers are very squeamish for working with a business that have had a cyber attack, fear if they may have their data stolen. And third are legal entanglements. This is where companies are being sued, class action lawsuits from state, local, and federal because of negligence or lack of proper cybersecurity procedures in place to protect their customers' data and information. Here are just some of the stats that I pulled up, and these stats have changed tremendously, have gone up in a number, but it states here, like I said, the cost of a single cyber attack can cost over $3.62 million that can affect companies when these attacks happen. After a data breach, 6% of businesses usually go under within 6 months after a cyber attack. The U.S. Justice Department says that 97% of all retailers have been hacked in some way or another because of cyber attacks. And of course, one of the leading areas or industries that are affected by cyber attacks have been the healthcare industry. As it states here, with more with 1 in 42 organizations impacted by ransomware, because hackers know that this is an area where they could acquire data quickly and easily coming from cyber attacks. So the cost of cyber attacks have risen and is predicted to rise $10.5 trillion by 2025. And that's worldwide. And we don't want to be a part of that. So we need to put some procedures in place. Here in Nevada, interesting stat Nevadans have lost a staggering $127 million to cyber thieves, right? Nearly $6,500 per victim. With all the states lost, Nevada is one of the highest states in our union because of the cyber attacks, along with North Dakota as well. As you can see here, even our neighbor, New California, we are still ranking high when it comes to these type of cyber attacks. So what is cybersecurity? Well, the description here that comes from, excuse me, the federal government and NIST, which stands for the National Institute of Standards and Technology, states that cyber security safeguards digital assets by preventing, detecting, and responding to cyber threats and ensuring data confidentiality, integrity, and availability, vital to business resilience and trust. And that's the simple definition for it. So basically, what that means is cybersecurity is looking to protect your data from the bad guys that are trying to steal it. So, cybersecurity, common tools that attackers use. So, what are some of the common tools that hackers use when they're trying to acquire data or expose data from a company? They use tools like phishing. Phishing is a process where hackers try to send emails to a corporation, thousands of them, and in hope that someone will click on a link. It's like when you're going fishing at a lake. You take your net, you throw it out in the water, and you pull the net back into hope that you will capture a lot of fish. Next, we have malware. Malware is a process of, it's basically malware is a program. It's software that's put on computers to get people to link that has actions and tasks built within the program that can steal data, transfer it from one server to another. It's basically a program. And we have ransomware, and that is a program like malware that is told to freeze or lock the hard drive of computer systems so individuals can, corporations cannot have access to their data. We have spear phishing, is another type of attack, and that goes after one particular person within an organization in line of an attack. Then we have insider threat. Insider threat is another way that hackers can get access to computers from an organization, and they do that by having an individual within the organization that compromises their security and exposes the company's data to hackers and scammers. We have social engineering. And Brenda, this is really interesting. Social engineering is a way of manipulating people to do things that they normally wouldn't do. And social engineering really is was a weapon of scammers and fraudsters before technology. This is something that existed thousands of years ago. And it's best that all of us educate our individual companies and employees to understand social engineering and how to protect ourselves from it. And then, of course, we have SMS spoofing, and this is a way to send out messages, text messages through your phone, and get people to click on a link. And by clicking on a link, they are being spoofed. Then, of course, we have identity theft, where your information is stolen, and the thieves will use your identity to purchase products and services in your name and have you responsible for it. All right, so let's take a look at some of the businesses and the bank vault that you and your business contain, right? So this chart here, I'm looking at to the left-hand side, we talk about the trusted secrets and intellectual property. These are things that hackers and scammers are looking to acquire or to exploit from individuals and businesses. Financial data from companies and individual families, right? Sensitive emails and documents like tax returns that was had here last month. PII, personal identifiable information they could use to create identities of individuals. And of course, we have the user credentials as well. They use this to resell it to the darknet. This is all valuable information that hackers look for. Let's see, I think we might be able to show this video here. And Brenda, you might remember this video before. Let's see. Let me do this.
Con is the biggest hacker convention of the year. It's a place where thousands of hackers come to hear talks, to demonstrate their newest hacks. It's actually a place that's so dangerous to be on the internet that they tell you to turn off the Wi-Fi and the Bluetooth on your phone. And they tell you not to use the ATMs too, because those could be hacked as well. This is the DEF CON ballroom. This is sort of the main room where things are happening, and it's pretty wild. I think this is Car Hacking Village. This car is locked. Can you get me in?
I'll unlock it for you. Should be good.
Hacking is no longer like this fringe activity, and if you are at DEF CON, there's a good chance that you're here because you want to learn what could happen to you or your company.
Anyone here first time in the SCCTF? Holy crap.
I invited Chris to hack me with his team, but they're going to hack me using social engineering, which is essentially hacking without any code. They just use a phone and an internet connection.
We help people with human security issues by testing vulnerabilities for like a network test, but it's for the people network. We test those vulnerabilities, see where the holes are, and then help people learn so they can patch them.
Can we try some of this? Can we try some?
Yeah.
See if it works?
Yeah, we probably could have our star visher here make some phone calls as
Let's do it.
Sure. Do you want to do a sample phishing call?
What's phishing?
Phishing is voice solicitation, and basically what you do is you use the phone to extract information or data points that can be used in a later attack.
Let's do it.
Okay.
Who are you going to call?
Maybe I'll call your cell phone provider
Okay.
and see if I can get them to give me your email address.
I bet they're good. I bet they have my back. But yeah, go for it.
I'm gonna spoof from your number, so it's gonna look like it's calling from you.
Okay.
Hi, I'm so sorry. Can you hear me okay? My baby, I'm sorry. My husband's like, we're about to apply for a loan and we just had a baby and he's like, get this done by today. So I'm so sorry. I can't call you back. I'm trying to log into our account for uses information and I can't remember what email address we used to log the account. The baby's crying and can you help me? Awesome.
In just 30 seconds,
gmail.com?
Jessica gets my personal email address.
Now, if I needed to add our older daughter on our account so she could call in and make changes, how would I need to go about doing that? You would have to send me a secure PIN through a text message? Yeah, well, the thing is, I don't think I'll be able to receive a text message if I'm on the phone. Shh. Oh, I'm not on there either? So I thought when we got married, he added me to the account. Okay, my
Jessica
name is
uses my girlfriend's name and a fake social security number
5127.
to set up her own personal access to my account.
Wait, I'm sorry, so there's no password on my account right now? Can I set that up?
She even gets the support person to change my
Thank you
password.
so much for your help today.
So she just basically blocked me out of my own account.
I'll get her fed after this. All right, thank you.
Holy shit. So they just gave you access to my entire cell phone account.
You're gonna have to go on and change your password now because it's Jess, my name.
And all it took was a crying baby and a phone call.
Yes.
I really thought that my cell phone company would protect me. I mean, like, this is the most basic stuff, and they're not doing it. And if they're not doing it, you know all these other businesses aren't doing it either. Anyone with a phone and an internet connection can do social engineering. But I was curious, what can a hacker with serious coding skills do?
Well, DEF CON is the world's biggest hacking convention. It's hacking everything, hacking social, hacking hardware, hacking software, hacking various systems.
I asked Dan Tentler, a well-known security researcher, to turn all of his firepower on me.
I did get into quite a number of things that I found.
So what were the first things you did? How did you start hacking me?
I quickly found your Squarespace blog and had an idea. Basically what I did was created a bogus Squarespace site and sent an email to you, a phish asking you to go to this website, run this certificate installer.
And I did it, because
Yeah.
I'm an idiot.
So once you ran that, it gave me access to your computer, and I created several fake pop-ups that looked like system pop-ups that would ask you for your credentials.
You didn't even have to have my passwords.
No, you gave them to me.
I gave them to you.
Yeah. So I stole your 1Password keychain.
And 1Password is where I store all my other passwords. So effectively
And
by...
your social security number and your Amex stuff and all your stock trading and bank information. I can send email to everyone in this room as you. I am you right now, if I wanted to be. If my evilness is working correctly, it should actually be taking pictures of your desktop and pictures through your webcam every 2 minutes. And I have been watching you for about 2 days now. In
Oh my
coffee
God.
shops, at your mom's house, on a plane. Here's your editing stuff. There's you like.
Oh my God,
looking
so this
nervous.
is literally
every 2 minutes
through my webcam.
Yeah, through this guy.
How badly could you have messed up my life?
I could have made you homeless. I could have made you homeless and penniless.
How?
Like,
How would you make me homeless?
Like, I have control of your digital life in its entirety. I have all your credentials. I have all your access to all your financial information, all your work information, all your personal information. I can pay people with your bank account or your Amex account. I am you. I can fully impersonate. Like, the only thing I couldn't doctor would be like your fingerprints.
This is like as bad as it gets.
It's ridiculous. Yeah, it's bad.
So it turns out that Dan Tentler is very good at his job. I mean, he hacked the hell out of me. He got everything. Well, I mean, frankly, I want to take my computer and throw it into the...
Wow.
Pretty amazing, huh?
Wow. And pretty scary.
Yeah, yeah. I played that video a few times to my audience, and that was again done with here in Vegas, DevCon and Black Hat convention that we have here. And yeah, it is really frightening. And a lot of companies have that is improved their cybersecurity posture when it comes to customer service and tech support to try to um, eliminate or to ask more questions to make sure they have the right person in mind before they update their accounts. But still, a lot of companies still aren't trained yet or are not aware of this.
From a small business standpoint, because usually the small businesses are so tight when it comes to the amount of work they have to do and the amount of people they
Mm-hmm.
actually have.
Mm-hmm.
This sounds like part of the monthly meeting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it should be. One of the things that we recommend that companies have is three areas of security within the organization. One is a physical security director, person that's in charge of their physical security, like their cameras, door locks, keys to access buildings, badges. That's all a physical security person, access to the roof, the cameras, all of that stuff, right? Then you have your cybersecurity director of the organization, the person that puts together the policies and training of the organization, make sure that they are abiding by the current laws, regulations. Again, individual cybersecurity awareness training for the employees. And then you have the third leg, and that is IT. IT is responsible for the hardware and software installation and maintenance within an organization. So you see there's three levels within companies that companies should have within their business. And that will give them the best practices, as it states here, for their business. So some of the best practices individuals can utilize is to make sure that each individual user has proper and strong passwords. And they should have a passphrase first to access their password manager. And then let the password manager create passwords for all the websites that they visit. A passphrase is a simple English statement. It could be a sentence with upper and lowercase characters, exclamation point, a period at the end of it, something they can remember. Whereas a password should consist of lots of upper and lower characters, 12 to 16 digits long, never written down on paper, and the password manager will encrypt their passwords for all the websites that are visited by the individual user. Does that make sense?
It makes a lot of sense, and it just wow, this is a lot of stuff
Mm-hmm.
that is so necessary that I feel as a small business owner quite ignorant about.
Well, it basically, Brenda, is awareness. More than ignorance, it's being aware. You're not aware of it right now, and getting people to become more aware of their cybersecurity posture that they could take and their responsibility. That's basically what we're looking at. Cybersecurity awareness.
I agree. I agree.
Yeah, for sure.
Now
So
that you totally freaked me out, keep going.
as we continue, as we continue on, this is one of the websites that I have here for my clients too to take a look at. So as they're looking at this recording, have them go to this website. It's called Have I, that's HAVE I Been Pawned, PWNED, pawned meaning has your information been pawned off or compromised or hacked from websites that are out there. And when you enter this website and enter your give information like your email address, it will show you and tell you if your information is out on another website that has your email and your password. And of course, if you do that, Brenda, and you find your information out there, what will be your first thing that you do once you find your information there?
Call you.
Appreciate that. But the first thing you should do is to change your password. Change your password. If it tells you that, yeah, your password's out there on this website, you should next thing you should do is make sure you go into your either password manager or go to the website if you still need that website and change your password.
So we really need to be, we do spring cleaning and fall cleaning, but we
Mm-hmm.
also need to do computer cleaning, don't we?
Hey, that's a good way to think of it. You're absolutely right. When you do your spring clean, wow, that's a great, yeah, it's a great task. When you do your spring cleaning, yes, you should also include a list of passwords that you will update and change. And your passwords should be changed regularly. And that's another job of the password manager. It will help you do that. You don't have to worry about trying to create these long passwords in your head and trying to remember them. Password manager will keep them for you.
I see. Okay.
Mhm.
And where do you keep your master password? Once you've chosen the password manager that you're going to use with LastPass or whatever that's out there,
Mhm.
where do you keep that phrase or that password to actually get into your passwords?
Well,
Do
it's
you
really
keep it anywhere, or is it just supposed to be in your head?
well, it really depends. Some people you may some people you may write it down. However, it's a sentence. It's a statement. It could be something that you write in your journal.
Okay.
And hackers, if they steal your journal, they still can't tell what it is because your journal consists of your own statements, your own words, your own tomes, your writing. But within that writing, paragraph, book, whatever you're writing in your journal, is that sentence that gives you access to your password manager.
So as individuals within a family,
Mm-hmm.
um, do they need to let the whole family know, or those essential people in the family know what that password is, or do they just need to let them know? What is it that they need to let them know? Okay, in
They
case of emergency.
sure they can know the actual statement, the actual sentence. You can share that, and it can be set up in such a way that your 8-year-old or your 80-year-old grandmother can be able to understand it.
Okay, got it.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. So as we move forward, this is an example when I talk about passwords. So this chart here gives you an example of the length of what a password should look like. So for example, if you have a password that's a four digit number, 1234, for example, it could be instantly found by hackers, right? Instantly. If you added a letter, an uppercase letter to it, instantly. If you added a lowercase letter to it, instantly. If you added numbers, upper, lowercase letters, but only 4 digits, instantly found out. If you added numbers, upper, lowercase letters, and symbols, instantly 4 digits, right? But as we move down the list here, increasing our digits, we get to, let's go into 14. Now, if you have 14 character password, numbers only, 14 digits, numbers only, about 41 minutes for hackers to hack that. If you then add an lowercase letter, 51 years. So think about it, 14 digit, all numbers, and then you add a lowercase, it'll take 51 years. Notice how it jumps up from 41 minutes up to 51 years.
Wow.
Then if you add an upper and lowercase characters, so you have the 14-digit password, you have an uppercase like the letter U and lowercase letter B, for example, mixed in that list, look at that, 800 years, 800,000 years. Then if you say numbers, upper, lowercase, and letters, 600 million years. And then, of course, it gets so crazy. We're talking 15 million years or something if you have upper lowercase. So the moral of the story is if you have between 14 to 15 characters within your password, it will take hackers forever to try to break through to find out, to crack it what it is. For now, until we get quantum computers, and that's another episode we could do on how quantum computers can figure it out much faster. But the moral of the story is have a longer password. Now, the problem is for humans to maintain this list. That's why you need a password manager. Your password manager will create these long passwords for you and maintain and encrypt them.
So I guess the upstart of this is the longer and more diverse, the better.
Absolutely. All right, next. So this gives you an idea of what an SMS message looks like. So I talk about text messages. Here's a text message. So with all of our training you and I have done over the years, training small businesses and individuals about password security, we talk about not clicking on emails that you don't know of, right, and protect yourselves. So now hackers know that. So they're coming out with other ways to get people to react and respond in their phishing attacks. So now they're moving to text messaging through cell phones. Notice the image here that talks about Wells Fargo Bank. It said accounts temporarily locked. Please log in here to fix it. What you're looking at, the HTTP, is a URL link, and it's a compressed link, or as we say in the industry, a bit.ly link. People don't know what that is, so they will click on it because they see the name of their bank. However, we've already trained them to tell them not to click on emails, so now hackers are moving to SMS messages to compromise their phone, which is almost worse than compromising your laptop or computer system at work. If you can compromise your phone, then you can lock them out, steal the phone, steal all the accounts on the phone, access to everything. Does that make sense?
Unfortunately, yes.
Yeah, so the moral of the story here, you see these type of links on your phone, contact your bank first, ask them did they try to contact you, and if they have not, just delete these messages from your phone. All right, so something to prevent. Now we talked about the scary thing about what the problem is. Here's some things you can do to protect yourselves. You know, how to protect yourself from phishing emails. Again, like we said, don't click on anything that you don't know about. Always investigate, vet any emails that you get by contacting the receiver of the email and ask them, get more information about it first before you click on it. That's the bottom line. All right, knowledge check. What are some of the ways to verify the validity of an email that you're unsure about? What do you think the best ways here? Select all that applies. A, reply to the sender and ask for more information. Check
No.
the email address to see if it is from the official account.
No.
Hover over the mouse link and reveal the misleading hyperlink.
You can do that, can't you?
You can, but what does that tell you? So you hover over it and it looks looks normal. Nowadays,
Oh, okay.
hackers can
So it
fix
could
that too.
be another layer. Okay.
Hmm.
So no,
Or D, open up the attachment.
no. I think that if I got something that said Chase Bank on it about my Chase Bank account, then I need to go to Chase Bank and go into my account my normal way and not through a link. Is that right?
Right. So your option would be B. You would check the sender's email address to see if it's from the official account. So you would look at the email address that it came from and check that first to make sure it's legitimate. Then I would even add more to it as well is I would contact the actual sender using a phone number that you've already had set up for this person or persons and contact them and ask them that they send it to you, right? Do more investigation before opening it up because what if the actual sender that sent you the email, if they were attacked and they were compromised? So they're thinking that they sent you a good email message and they basically send it to you, and now you can get hacked that way too.
This is just so scary to me that it sounds like what I really need to do is just go back to my original account and to ask the questions
Right.
from my original account, not
Mhm.
from anything that has been sent to me. And I've noticed with the accounts that I have, some of them have an alert in red that says, "We will not contact you and ask you for this information."
Okay.
So they're saying, if you see something like that, don't click on it. Come back to us through your normal ways of reaching us.
Right. Right. I agree. That is the best way to do it. Is to reach them that way. Is to contact them and ask them if they've sent you anything and what it's regarding and verify it that way before you click on it, or maybe you can discuss with them over the phone before you. One of the good things too is a lot of companies, their IT departments, remember those three levels I was telling you about, the three pillars
Mhm.
in security for our organization? Um, they're incorporating filters within emails. So you'll get this email that comes through a filter first before it even gets to you, where the email's scanned and they look and if an attachment is found, a lot of time that attachment will be tested to see um, if there are any records from other sites around the world with this type of email campaign, and if it looks legitimate before it goes to the user. So that's a lot of companies are doing that. So you can rest assured that your IT department, they are doing some things to help you out.
Well, that makes me feel better about
Hmm.
the company that I'm dealing with because they're taking it seriously and they're trying to make sure I'm okay as a customer. From a small business standpoint,
Hmm.
do they have the capability of doing that when they don't have an IT department or have access to the things that you were talking about? Are there companies out there that they could actually contract with who could monitor their cybersecurity?
Yes, there are. And usually those three departments I was mentioning before, your security departments, they would all work together in making sure that you have hardware and software set up within your organizations to filter your emails, to look for anomalies within emails that are coming through the organizations before it's sent to the actual recipient. So a
That's a
lot of that,
that's a better feel.
yes, 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 a lot of that's being done. Now, as far as individuals at home, so think about that. What I just mentioned to you, that's putting together that three-level department for businesses and small businesses and organizations. But for as individuals, you don't have that, right, at home.
Right.
So therefore, your ISP, where you get your emails through, you should have a third party filter your home emails also through Gmail, Yahoo, whoever that you're utilizing. So then you'll get a little bit more reassurance that your emails are being filtered coming through your personal emails.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm calming down now
Yeah.
because it just seems so overwhelming, especially for a small company, because they don't have the resources.
Mm-hmm. True.
And so it's like, oh my gosh, all this stuff is coming at me because
Mm-hmm.
hackers are no longer just targeting big guys.
Mm-hmm.
They're targeting all guys.
Right. Right.
And so, as a small business owner, I want to be as secure as I can be. I want my customers to feel comfortable and to know that they are secure. But as an individual, I want that for my home too. Because maybe
Exactly.
I have kids and kids don't understand not to click on stuff.
Mhm.
Adults don't understand not to click on stuff.
Exactly. Exactly. I totally agree. And that would be one way to do that is to have a third party or with your personal emails, have those emails filtered. I'll work on something to give you a list of those things for your audience as well, especially the small businesses where they could have a couple of options for them. So I'll work on something for you for that.
Okay, thank you.
All right, so as we go through, just a couple of things I want to hit here. Ways you can do to protect yourself in your home. Make sure that you have backups to restore of your data, antivirus software in your smartphones, a VPN, your networks, private email numbers when you browse, physical security, and of course, shred your papers throughout your building. Very, very important stuff to have. Words from the philosopher Mike Tyson. And he says, everybody has a plan until you get hit in the face.
That makes unfortunately a lot of sense.
It sure does, right? Everybody has a plan. So you need to make sure that plan is put in place correctly. So what we want in organizations and as what we do in our industry is help businesses create cybersecurity, a culture of cybersecurity within a workplace, right? They become smarter. So what is that culture? Well, basically integrating daily routines, behaviors, and practices, and make sure that they're training their employees with the newest updates on what's going on in cybersecurity to protect themselves. Proactive approach, right? Regular assessments, simulations, and continuously learning because hackers are doing the reverse of what we're doing. They're trying to exploit people by looking at their weaknesses and vulnerabilities. Work from home security. Like we're just saying, we're looking for filters on emails, make sure that they are intact. We're making sure that you have the basic principles set up in your home, if you're operating your business from your home. For example, your routers, you have two bands in your router. You have one band for business and the other band for your guests that are coming visiting your house. For example, your kids, you don't allow your kids to have access to your router, which all your security systems and everything is set up on it. You have to have those separated. Separation of duties also extends to your home as well. Strengthen your Wi-Fi. You make sure that router itself has that pass phrase that we talked about. You could have
Mhm.
another passphrase for your router. Think about it. When you buy a router from one of the local stores, Best Buy or wherever, or Amazon, they have a preset user ID and password. Usually it's admin. And people just keep that regular password. Either they don't know how to set it up or it's easier for them, just plug it in as it is. And that can give them a lot of issues in the future as well. So they need to change that as well. So, as it says here, what procedures do you have in place if your smartphone was ever lost, what would you do? So what I ask my clients and my students is how to create a policy when it comes to cybersecurity. In other words, Brenda, if you lost your phone right now, who would you contact?
Yeah, the provider.
And then you would say to them, I lost my phone, I need another phone back. And they'll ask you, did you back up all your data, your contacts? And you would say, like a lot of people would say, I don't know, I'm not sure.
Yeah, I'd
That's what
see
we,
that too.
yep. So those are questions we should have answered before it happens. So we need to make sure that you have answers to those questions.
And
Um,
where do you find out how to back up or
by
signal
poss
your phone or whatever it is that you're doing?
Sure, the best way is to contact your ISP beforehand.
Yeah,
While
yeah,
everything
yeah, I agree with
while
that.
everything is working and find out. But
Okay.
but this is a good time for me to talk about my upcoming event called Hacking the Human. And during that event, I'm looking to have Hacking the Human as a summit versus having it as a 2-hour event. We're looking to have it as a half day event, 4 hours, maybe even 8 hours. It depends on how many people that can show up on for the event. And I want to work in conjunction with UNR, UNLV, and possibly the SBCD, Small Business Development Center, and have volunteers there that can sit in individual booths with small business owners and individuals to show them how to back up their smartphones, right? How to set up a password manager on their phones and use the one-to-one, eye-to-eye contact, right? Versus
Hmm.
going on a website to try to figure it out or talking to someone. Even a Zoom call like this is nice, but it's best to sit and talk to someone about their device. So we're thinking when we put this together, Brenda, and of course I will work through the details that is with you. We're looking to have people to come to the event, bring their laptops, bring their smartphones, have UNLV students, especially in the cybersecurity department at UNLV, sit with
Hmm.
individuals and guide them through how to use their device.
So I love the idea. And I definitely love the face to face because the one of the biggest complaints that I hear, and not just from people my age, but from people period,
Mm-hmm.
is that when I have a question, if I don't word it the correct way, if I'm using if I'm using the internet, I
Mm-hmm.
don't word my question the right way, I don't get the answer that I need, but I don't know that.
Right.
I don't know I haven't gotten the right answer. So if I'm talking to somebody and I word a question, they can go back to me and say, "Do you mean A or B?" Which will help me focus on exactly what I'm looking for or exactly what I need.
Correct. Correct. Absolutely. So yeah, so we look forward to that. And that's an event that we're looking to establish here. And I'll work with you more on the details of that and and all the other resources that we're looking at putting together, getting that
Okay.
going. Yeah, and also we're looking for sponsors and donors too. So hopefully we'll be able to do that. Get
Yeah,
this.
we need the whole community to come together to support this.
Yes, I
And
would
we
agree.
need the volunteers, we need the donors, we need the sponsors, and we need the people who need this information. We just need
Hmm.
all of us to come together. And one of the things I've noticed, I just got a new computer. And so one of the things I noticed on my computer when I set it up was it tells me that I have all these various devices. And I go, how
Hmm.
does it know what devices I have? I just got the computer. So then it also tells me how I can track all of my many devices. So as as an individual who has a business, are they automatically integrated by the software that's already built into a computer, that you've got your personal stuff and your business stuff all lumped in together and you may not even know it?
Could be, yeah, that's plausible. That could happen. You should all segregate those duties as well for business and personal. Absolutely segregate them, because have separate emails for your personal stuff that's different from your business. We tell people that they should have a domain name that represents their business and not use their Gmail account,
Mm-hmm.
because their Gmail accounts usually is for their personal stuff and not for their business. So yeah, yeah, there's definitely things like that we could talk about as well in our upcoming events, also. But yeah, those are definitely some of the things that we can do.
Yeah, this particular session that we're doing now
Mm-hmm.
about being aware
Mm-hmm.
is so important. When you and I decided to do this,
Mm-hmm.
I needed to start at the awareness place, because so many of us are hearing things. We don't know how to put what we're hearing in its proper perspective. Many of the things that we should be aware of, we are
Mm-hmm.
not.
Right.
And we're doing things that we think are the right things to do, but we don't really know.
Correct.
Is there some kind of an assessment that can be done for a small business owner that takes this awareness to the next step?
Yeah, it's true. The next step would be an assessment. And basically what assessment is it's a inventory collection of their data assets. What do they have, where it's located, how can it be protected? And we did definitely talk about the value of it as well. That's the first line of defense, right? We'll start from there. Once that's together, then we can show them ways to create a culture within an organization to protect it.
So we have to find whatever the starting point is when it comes to cybersecurity before we
Mm-hmm.
can figure out what the next steps are in securing it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Correct.
All right.
Correct. Yeah. Well,
This is
thank you.
fantastic,
Yeah.
Mac. This is absolutely fantastic. I am so happy that this is going to be in our virtual classroom, where people can go and watch this over and over again and actually know how to get in touch with you as needed.
Excellent. Definitely appreciate that as well, and appreciate the opportunity um, to share this information with your audience, and look forward to bringing in another training session like this in the future regarding cybersecurity awareness.
Fantastic. Well, we've got a couple more coming up, and so I will get information out, and I know you will be doing the same thing. Um, we've got two more coming up the rest of in this series, and we would like for people to actually feel more comfortable in this world of technology.
Mm-hmm.
The joke in my office is, if they can teach it to me, they can teach it to anybody. So,
Yeah.
but I always have a lot of questions because there's so much I don't understand. I did find a lot of times with my clients, and even with some of my students, is that they don't ask the questions because they don't know what questions to ask.
Mm-hmm.
And this is not some place where you need to say to yourself, well, I don't want to sound like I don't know. The truth is, you don't know. The reason you ask the question, this is not a lawyer thing. You're not asking a question because you already know what the answer is. You're asking a question because you want to know what the answer is. And
Mm-hmm.
the answers will make a positive difference in your business. I want to thank you for your time, and more than that, for the kindness of sharing your expertise with us. It is greatly appreciated.
You're
Take
very
care.
welcome. Very welcome. Talk to you soon, Brenda. Thank you.
You got it.